everybody, it is Tuesday and it's not live, but here I am with a video for you. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. You might be wondering how come I'm doing a recorded live. I am away right now on the Norway cruise, the Stampin' Up! Cruise that I earned last year. Thanks to many of you who supported me, I was able to earn enough points to actually attend the cruise. So now we are cruising. So I do want to let you know that I have a special while I'm away. So if you place an order of $60 or more in my online store and you use my host code, which I'll show you in just a minute, then I'm going to give you a free package of the adhesive backed sparkle gems. And I'm hoping that you can just see how pretty these are. This one is just missing one or two because I've been using them. But these are probably one of my favorite new things out of the new catalog. And so that will be yours free with a $60 online order. And I'll give you the host code here in just a minute. It's my monthly host code for May. So it's one that's been around already, but you'll see it when I turn down to the desk. And you can also see it over on my blog post, which is www.designwithjo.ca. For anybody who lives in Canada, this would apply to you because I am able to help you, whether you live in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, or whether you live in BC or Alberta or anywhere in between. As long as you don't currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Okay, so what are we going to play with today? We are going to play with the Hey Chuck bundle. And this was your number 2 bundle. Last week we played with the Gone Fishing bundle, and you can see that over on my YouTube channel, which is just Design with Jo. And you can see what we did with that one there. And then your second choice was Hey Chuck. And I said that I would do a video for you to show you something with that. So this is a totally different card from last week's. This one is really colorful. You can use it for any kind of mail, probably best for a mail, I'm thinking. It can be a Happy Father's Day card. It can be a great friend card. It could be a kid birthday card. There's lots of good ways that you can use this one. So how about we get started right away, and I'm going to turn you down and let's have some fun. So this is the host code you want to use to get in on my cruising special for the adhesive backed sparkle gems. It's BKBYP6JG. And if you just go here to this link, www.designwithjo.ca/host May23, that's where you can actually do your ordering, and you can order whatever you want for your $60 order, and I will pop these in the mail to you once I get home and order them. So it'll probably be towards the end of June when you will receive them in the mail. Thanks very much for doing that. Okay, so what are we playing with? We are going to play with the Hey Chuck bundle. So here is the stamp set. Lots of fun roosters here. So we have this surfer dude guy. We've got one that looks like he's pecking in the ground. This guy's certainly got something to screech about. And this one just has a real interesting look on his face. And then lots of fun little sayings. You rule the roost, rise and shine. It's your birthday with a cake. You've got something to crow about. And then a fence and also a skateboard. Now most of these, in fact all of these, sorry, have a die that will go around them. So this die fits right around that guy. Every one of them has a die, including the skateboard. And then there's a couple other dies. So this guy here is a sunrise die, and this one is a weather vane die as well. So we're going to use these today. We're also going to play with the surfer dude guy. So we need that one, and we need his little skateboard as well. And then I'm going to also play with a different stamp set for some of the words. But let's get started and just do the stamping and the coloring first. So what you need for this card, you're going to need 2 pieces of just our regular 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. So this is just the regular. A piece of your basic black that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. And we're just going to fold that in half. And then we're going to have one on the front and one on the inside. So we're going to work with this one on the front, but we're going to do some cutting and stamping first. So we are going to stamp our little dude here. And we're also, don't need that one, we're going to stamp the skateboard as well. So I just have some Memento Black that I've pulled in here. We're going to give this guy here, he should fit perfectly. Now this is thick basic white because I am going to color with my Stampin' Blends. It's a perfect color, nice and bright color here. Now I'm going to take, I've put a piece of double-sided adhesive on the back of my Azure Afternoon, and that's because we are going to cut our sunburst out of there. We're going to cut on this side right over top of the adhesive. So I just want to stamp the little skateboard down here at the bottom, and we're going to cut that out as well. And then that's it for stamping this guy. I'm just going to put the lid on here for now. We are going to use that again. We're going to color him using a variety of different colors. So I've got Daffodil Delight. Put that off to the side. Let's make some room here. Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Lemon Lime Twist, Azure Afternoon, and I've got a Cajun Craze here as well. There's my pumpkin pie, and Cajun Craze if we need that. So I'm going to give him some shorts that are colored green with blue. So he's going to have some Lemon Lime Twist. Now I can color just like this, or I'm actually going to put it on top of my mat because this will go through your paper. The Stampin' Blends are alcohol based, and they will get fairly wet, so they will go through your paper. So I usually start with my darker and then move into my light. I'm going to use a bullet tip for coloring these guys in. Now I could have done my little blue dots on the shorts first, but it doesn't really matter what you do first. Now this is a little bit lighter, and you can see that I've created just a tiny little bit of shadow in amongst there. And we're going to go for just dotting right over top of those circles because this will leak out into the other edges. So that's it for the blue, and that's also it for our Lemon Lime Twist. So now let's color our rooster, our chicken. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin pie, and I'm going to do the bottom part with a dark pumpkin pie, coming up his nice skinny neck. Do the top just in the edges. Then I'm going to go in with my lighter pumpkin pie, and I'm going to draw that out. So I'm going to blend it out so that it just looks very seamless, like there's just a shadow really where the dark and the light is. Now you don't want to create, this is a fairly small area to work in, and it's a great area to just show you these blends. And then I'm going to go in with just a little bit of my dark, and it's just going to intensify that color. This is Daffodil Delight. So now I'm going to create the dark. So I like to use my dark first and my light second. When I first started using blends, I did it in reverse, and it really doesn't matter which way you do it. It's just become personal preference for me that I do my dark, go in with my light, and pull out some of that dark color. I just think I don't end up actually coloring as much, having to do as much work when I'm doing that as if I do light, then dark, and then go back in with my light. So that's going to pull out that color. Now I do want to give just a little bit of pumpkin pie into the tips, which is just going to intensify and give a little bit more dimension to the ends of the tips of the wings. And I'm also going to color his little skinny legs. And we'll do just again a little bit of pulling out of that color. I'm going to use my dark to do that. And it just gives you a lot more depth to your colored image. Okay, and just one more thing left to do. We are going to do the Cajun Craze for his nose. Oops, I don't tend to use the the brush tip on little tiny areas, because you will have a tendency for sure to go outside. And I'm just dotting in those little tiny areas. And then I've got my sweet sorbet, and I'm just going to dot again. And I don't know what these little guys are called. And then I'm just going to leave his eyes alone. So what I do after I've got that is I then cut him out. And when he's cut out, that is what he looks like. Okay, so we have a little carbon copy there. And I'm going to cut out my skateboard just by putting that right over top and putting on a little piece of my Post-it note tape. Put that right over top once you've found where it needs to be. And then I'm also going to put this on top and want to make sure that that's right in line with where the double-sided adhesive is. So I'm going to run that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this is what we are left with. We have our skateboard. We have one of our sunrises. Now I've also cut out an additional 3. So we have one more blue, sweet sorbet, and a lemon lime twist. So now let's do some of the designing onto our card. So for this one, what you want to do, we're going to do some of our own lettering. Now that might strike fear into your hearts, but we are going to use the Alphabest stamp set. So this one is great because it's a wonderful size. So these letters are only 1/2 inch tall. So you can actually fit a lot of words right on top of them. So we are first going to give ourselves some lines, because I know people hate to just go for it. I would normally say just go for it and just whatever happens, happens. But I know that's difficult to do. So what I'm doing is I'm using my grid paper, and I'm going to start on this line here. I use my pencil or my ruler from one side to the other, and a very light pencil line. And then I'm going to go down 1/2 inch, and I'm going to put another light pencil line and one more 1/2 inch and another light. So very light. We are going to erase these afterwards. So we are going to be writing. We're going to be using our stamps, and I have them separated right now into my letters here, and I've got the start of my words here. So we are going to be starting to type super, or print, whichever way you look at it, super up on here. And so I'm just using the lines. Now you want to pull in your simple chamois, and you want to clean as you go. And if you're not going to use that letter again, put it back. So I am going to put in here super cool, I think kid. So S-U-P, and so all I'm doing is inking, and then I'm looking to get it on the line fairly close together. If I don't get it perfectly aligned, it's no big deal. So here's the E, and if one's leaning forward, like there's a little bit more space there, if one's leaning forward a little bit more, again, no big deal. These are fun cards. And this is actually really easy to stamp the lines like this. So we want cool, so C-O-O-L. So I am going to speed this up because it's the same process all the way along. And now we're also going to put in an exclamation mark because we have one here. That one's just a tiny bit. I've got it on there a little bit curved. So we have super cool kid. We're going to wait just a moment for that to dry a little bit, but we're done with that stamp set. And we are going to pull in and do a little bit of erasing on there. But this is where we're going to pull in these guys, and they are going to be decorative elements. So that should be dried enough that I can go in and just use a very light touch to erase that line. Now, you don't have to put those lines in there. If you want it to be a little bit more wonky, then certainly go for that. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the double-sided adhesive, take your pick tool, which is going to be a little bit easier for you, and you're going to lift up the edge. And I would go where there's a little bit more solid as opposed to the end. If you go to the end, you may risk bending back that little sun ray, we're going to call it. And this is going to go, we'll put one here. And I think we'll do a red guy too. So Sweet Sorbet. And the whole point to these is that we don't want them to be equally positioned. We want them to be a little more fun. So we're going to put one here. So these really are just a decorative element at this point. So when you have ones where the piece is started, where it doesn't have glue all the way to the end, you can do that to get it started. Or you can go to the same spot as we were before. Now, if I was putting this one, I'm not going to put it in the equal same spot. I want to put it so that it's up above. So these are right in line with the white, or as close as you can get. We are going to use some liquid glue to put down our skateboard. So this would be great for any, well, I don't know, any aged kid, I'm thinking. Put his skateboard down, and then I already have some dimensionals on the back of this guy here. But you know what? Let's glue it down first. Let's glue it onto here first, and then we'll put him on. I always like to do that because if I were putting my liquid or my seal over top of a bumpy edge, we're just not going to be as happy with it. So place that there. Put this down, and then we'll do the inside really quickly. Now you could also just have this be a congratulations card. So maybe it's for a graduation or something like that. Or maybe you got a skateboard for a kid, of a friendly kid of yours. I'm going to put this on the inside. Uh-oh. I'm not going to use that one because it's got some marks on it. So let's go for a different one. That one I didn't think I'd be able to cover up those marks real well. So let's put that in there. Now I should have one more. There we go. One more guy here. So we're going to carry it over to the inside of the card as well, that theme. And we're going to pretend that this is a birthday card. So let's put this one, I think we'll put this one over here. I'm going to put it lower so it's not exactly lined up with where that is, and I didn't want it to be the same blue over here as here. And I actually happen to have a birthday cake. So I've colored a birthday cake, so let's take one of those birthday cakes there, and we'll use the It's Your Birthday. Your birthday. Stamp this here. So what I do to try and see if I've got it lined up properly on there is I line this up with one of my lines, and that looks pretty darn good. Get that out of the way. And we can just, I do line that up again. Say it's your birthday. And then we're going to put the cake, I think, up there. We're down there. No, we're going to put the cake up there. So I'm going to put that on with a mini dimensional. Two of them, actually. So you can see that this is a fun little stamp set to play with. There's all kinds of different ways you can use this one. This is just a super simple one. I just love this cool dude. I have an example to show you. I'm going to put that right up there to cover that little mark. So there's your super cool kid card, and he is a super cool kid. What kid wouldn't like that? Or what about a dad? Wouldn't a cool dad like that one? So I don't have anything stamped on the inside of this one, but you can see how these really add lots of fun elements, and I've just got a yellow one on the inside to match the yellow of our rooster. So thanks very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that project, and we will see you when I'm back next week. Bye-bye.